Yield that time, if possible, to Chairman Jordan.
Mr. Chairman, so I'm going to go back to this manual collection. Did the manual collection that you talked about a lot, did that change the violent crime statistics? That change the number you had?
That would have changed the numbers because it would obviously added an additional 18% of the population.
Did it change it? How did it change it? Did it make the violent crime numbers go down or go up?
It would have made the violent crime numbers go down because what you're seeing in the report now, if you looked at the report, which is where the issue comes in with the 4.5% increase, if we didn't use that manual entered data that we went out and got from those law enforcement agencies, then you would see that percentage increase. So because we went out and manually sourced that crime data.
And do you always go out and do any this manual collection? Does that happen every single year?
No, sir. That's the only time we've ever done that.
So the only time you ever have done it resulted in what was reported as violent crime going up. Actually, you reported it then as violent crime going down.
With the numbers that we had, the data set that we had, it reported that violent crime was going down.
And you've never done that before?
No, sir.
I find that interesting, right? Like, you've never done it before, but this time, oh, violent crime went up. We're going to go do something we never done before. And as a result of that, violent crime went down. Shazam, we can report that. And that gets used in a political context during the debate and everything else. You find that interesting?
What I will say is that our desire in the CJIS division is to get it right and get the information out there to the public for whatever use they need. Mm-hmm. And our desire to try to make sure that we had a statistically significant number to create those trends. Unfortunately, no good deed goes unpunished, and we're trying to do it.
In years prior, when you didn't go do the manual, what was the reporting percent coming in? Was it much higher, or was it relatively the same as it was in this particular year?
I would have to go back and look at it. I would say it's relatively the same when we had because we had 78% of the population covered. I believe it's 78% of the population covered with the 2021 data set. I would say relatively the same.
So if it was the same, why'd you do it? Why'd you do it for this particular year when you reported 4 weeks before the election?
I'm sorry, let me clarify. Had we not manually sourced that data to get up to 78% of the population covered, we would have only had 65% or less of the population covered. And when we looked at that, we said, we want to make sure that we're providing the most information that we can, and we recognize these agencies did not submit data, so we want to go out and get this
What's the lowest number you've ever went with before? In other years, was it close to the 60-some%?
I apologize, I do not know the answer to that question, but I would say 65% in my estimation is not statistically significant.
I appreciate the chairman. I just think it's interesting. The 1 year that they go do something that they've never done before happens to be the year that's going to get reported 4 weeks before an election, and it changes the outcome. That's sort of the whole point. I yield back.